the third and final development camp breakdown, and we still have a few more prospects to discuss. Lots to talk about in today's episode of Locked On Devils. Buckle up, everybody.
You're Locked On Devils, your daily podcast on the New Jersey Devils, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi, this is Bryce Salvador, and you're Locked On Devils with Trey Matthews.
Scores! Oh, Stevens stepped up, nailed him. Brodor's got the puck. What a shot. The Devils win the Stanley Cup.
Alrighty now, what is up, New Jersey? Welcome back to the Locked On Devils podcast here on the Locked On Network. I'm your host, College Hockey Club play announcer, Devils Wire Pucks Pitchforks, and also part-time credential media member, Trey Matthews. The third and final part of my development camp series, and we have a few more prospects to break down. As some of you might already know, to close out development camp, the prospects put on a 3-on-3 tournament in front of the season ticket holders. I had the pleasure of covering development camp last year in person. It was a lot of fun. However, it was a little hard to break down because, of course, the game is going to be a little rusty or it's going to be a little slow, however you want to describe it, is because these are prospects going head-to-head, and they only had a few days to build chemistry with one another, and this is just like an over-glorified practice, if we're being completely honest. But once again, not to diminish development camp and its significance, it gives prospects a chance to get their feet wet in terms of the NHL lifestyle. And I can't really talk about the 3-on-3 tournament because I wasn't really there. However, there are some prospects that can talk about it, and that's what we're going to discuss in today's episode. And we'll also hear from Kevin Dineen. I've spoke fondly of Kevin Dineen in prior episodes. I remember a couple years ago when people were really pushing for Lindy Ruff to be fired at the end of the 2022 season. I said maybe Kevin Dineen could be an option. That was so long ago, and people were like, no, let's not keep it in-house. Let's find somewhere else. But digressing a little bit, let's get back to rounding off development camp. The first prospect I want to talk about, Joseph Stanislaw, a.k.a. Jersey Joe, texted me last year and was alerting me saying, keep an eye out for this particular prospect. As we all know, Jersey Joe is high on certain prospects, and he covers them for Draft Pro Hockey. Check out some of his work. He's also a colleague of mine over at Pucks and Pitchforks. But who is this prospect that Jersey Joe was telling me to keep my eye out for? Daniil Orlov, a left-handed defenseman from Russia, standing 6'1", weighing 196 pounds. The scouting report, according to Elite Prospects, the best part of his game was his defensive footwork in closeouts. He's smooth. He's purely a defensive defenseman who can make one-touch rims to teammates. This past season, while playing in the KHL, he appeared in 60 games. He had 2 goals, 5 assists for a grand total of 7 points. He appeared in 5 playoff games, and he also had a couple stints for the VHL and MHL. Orlov was drafted in the 4th round in the 2022 draft, and here's what he had to say shortly after the 3-on-3 tournament during development camp.
Most of last season, you were in the KHL. What did you learn about that experience?
Yeah, it was cool experience. I have bad moments in my game. I have good moments in my game, but I learning every day something with good players. I was played in my team, maybe you know Ilya Kovalchuk. It was player New Jersey Devils, but I mean I have not good season. I wanna be better in next.
What do you want to improve?
Improve? Все понял. I mean my mentality. I wanna go to next level in my skating, in my hands, and my vision to eyes. And I wanna go to next level in my mentality. It's for me very, very главное, main.
What did you learn about how to be a professional athlete in the KHL?
In this game, actually, I learn every day something for me. I have, for me, English is very difficult language, but I learn him. I learn communication with players, with staff, learning compete, and maybe something on ice. Coach staff every day talking with me in my skate, in my shoot, and I mean it this.
What's next? What are you planning? Where are you planning to play next season?
Next season in KHL Spartak Moscow. I hope I will be working and every day. So my dream in play in NHL.
Still got a couple more prospects to break down, but before we continue, let me tell you about Game Time. I've actually used the Game Time app before to purchase myself some MLB and NBA tickets, save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more with priority. Flash deals, save even more with exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of the game or event. Zone deals, save even more when you choose a section like Game Time, choose the seats. All-in pricing, toggling this feature, shows the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. Seat views, get a good view from your seat in the app before you buy. The lowest price guarantee or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Game Time ticket coverage, your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in ticketing industry. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Okay, next prospect on the docket is Samu Salminen. He is actually committed to play at the University of Denver. Here's the scouting report. The hallmark of his game is his intelligence. Salminen sees plays developing several steps in advance and plans every step accordingly. Whether he has possession or not, he has the goal scorer's knack for finding the right place to set up shop, and his 1- and 2-touch finishing game never fails him. He's every bit the credible shooting threat without the puck as he is with it. He stands 6'2", weighs 185 pounds. He plays center and left wing. He was drafted in 2021 in the 3rd round, and he hails from Finland. We all know that the Devils love their Finnish players. Like I said, he's committed to play at the University of Denver. However, he last played for UConn, appearing in 35 games, 7 goals, 10 assists for a grand total of 17 points. We'll see how he fares with the reigning national champions. But without further ado, here's what Salminen had to say to the media shortly after the 3-on-3 tournament.
So you've played in college hockey a couple years there. How has that increased the level of your game, that experience?
Just like, of course, for the European player, when you come to North America, like the rink is different, like the hockey is different, like it forces you to make like changes in your game. And last 2 years like taught me really well in some areas, like some different things, how to like get into the pro level and what are the like main things that I probably missed before coming here in like when I played in the juniors in Europe and stuff. So it's like I think it's like good for my own development. Like for like I recommend it for a lot of guys who young guys from the Europe. So it gives you like different perspectives and stuff. Like, it's good.
What's the biggest changes you felt with the game or with how you played in that game?
Of course, the game is way faster though. Like because the ring is smaller, we play way more like next to boards. You don't have that much time. You need to like use your empty space way better. Like of course the defense play, like it happens everywhere. It's not only just like a D zone. It's forecheck, neutral zone, everything's back checking. Like it happens a lot often, kind of.
When you look at your development over the past couple of years, where do you think the specific things you want to focus on are this season? What are the things you're working on this off season?
Of course, going to a new place, there's a great culture and a lot of great players for every spot. Just like get myself like versatility for to play every kind of roles and to help the team with not only offense, just the defense and play just to kill penalties and stuff like that. Just get myself to be ready to like consistently like work on hard and like be kind of like relentless minded.
A new group here at development camp this year. What did you think of the compete level? What did you think of just being able to play against these players?
Oh, it was unbelievable. I think there's an unbelievable balance between like hard work, and we had really fun here. Like a lot of talented players who work hard, and like everybody wants to like go through their dreams. So I think it's like awesome week.
And then just looking forward, what are your plans for next season?
Just settle down for like good culture, good organization where I can like help the team win every single night and like get myself better as a person, as a hockey player, and just it's as simple as that though.
While we're on the subject of prospects who are committed to play for former national champions, let's talk about Charlie Lety. Similar to Cam Squires, I actually did a one-on-one interview with Lety last year during development camp. I really enjoyed his presence. He was a phenomenal speaker. He's committed to play at Quinnipiac University. They won the national championship last year. He last played for Boston College, appearing in 39 games and registering 8 points, all of them being assists. And Lety is a right-handed defenseman. He was drafted in the 4th round in 2022 by the Devils. Here's a scouting report on Charlie Lety. He outweights forecheckers, steps to the inside, and then makes the pass. When not possible, he skates away from his passing target to encourage the forechecker to chase, then passes cross ice. I think scouts rave about his passing abilities. Lety stands 6'2", weighs 185 pounds, and he hails from Fairfield, Connecticut. So since he's committed to play at Quinnipiac, technically he's going back home. He's going to play for his hometown state. All right, here's what Lety had to say to the media shortly after the 3-on-3 tournament. Take a listen.
Can you just give us a synopsis of what this couple days meant for you all, and how do you feel it helped raise the level of the Devils' prospects?
To all of us, I think it's somewhat of a confidence boost, being here, being selected. It's a privilege, and we're all grateful for that. But I think coming back to these camps is just like a reminder of what this place is. It's a special place. It's a fun place to be. We all look forward to coming to here. So I think that's kind of what it means to all these guys.
To have this during the summer, to have a checkpoint like this where you're able to get NHL resources, you're able to see your own development by playing against some good players, how does that really help set up your second half of the offseason?
Yeah, you kind of just know what you need to do for the rest of the summer to go in. These kids play, I play against a bunch of these kids. They all play against each other, So going back and just seeing where the top guys are, you kind of need to, what you need to do the rest of the summer to be ready to go once the season starts.
Looking at that last season for you at BC, where do you feel like your game took another step? What do you still want to work on this offseason?
Yeah, I feel like my game took another step with the defensive level. I've always been a defensive guy, but I felt like I was able to move and kind of open up and stay with guys easier. And, another aspect of the game I'm looking to improve still is, just confidence into the offensive stuff, just being able to join the rush freely and, having that privilege to go up there and do that.
What has the experience been like to be able to see these guys that you normally play against, but now you're together and you're able to support each other? Because even though this is a development camp, it's still a high-pressure situation. You still want to have the best foot. So how is that relationship allowing you all to lean on each other over this camp?
Yeah, I know. It's a fun time. The other day we were at the Jets facility, playing 7v7 football, and it was one of the most competitive things I've done. So, I think that translates over to the games here. You obviously, one, you want to impress everyone here. You're at a camp where you would want to do that. But two, you have respect for these guys. You think they're good players, and you just want to compete with them and have fun with them. They're fun guys to go out there and just battle with. So that's all I got.
And then just looking at that scrimmage, 3v3, but it was super competitive the entire time. What are just your first takeaways from that experience?
Yeah, some takeaways would be kind of just, how good everyone is, just making little simple plays, just slipping pucks to the middle, quick releases, just turning and being able to go right to the net. So, kind of seeing that, from a different style of kind of hockey as in college, where it's a lot harder and more like, you know, you have some skill teams that do that, but like a lot more harder and just grindier work. Like, it's pretty impressive and pretty cool to see like everyone's styles, you know, all the different European nations and Canadian and American guys come together. So, yeah.
Okay, to close out Development Camp Breakdown Part 3, we're going to hear from Kevin Dineen, who is the head coach for the Utica Comets. Last year, we, the media, had the chance to speak with Megan Duggan as she was present for Development Camp and spoke to the media for a lengthy period of time. This time around, it is Dineen. I've told you guys that I'm actually a big fan of Kevin Dineen. Ben Burnell, who's appeared on this show, he covers the Comets exclusively. He's told me that Dineen gives his players a long leash. That's why somebody like Alexander Holtz, now former New Jersey Devil turned Vegas Golden Knight, his numbers were much better in the AHL than they were in the NHL, which goes to show that I think Holtz still had some untapped potential. But nonetheless, let's hear from Kevin Dineen. Take it away.
New talent, some returning talent. Two of the players that you saw for the first time with Utica, Villain and Chase Stillman. What did you see out of there last season?
Well, I just feel like there's a lot of maturity to that's what's so enjoyable about following these young players and getting involved with their development. You get to see them grow up from, you know, young men into high-end hockey players. And you just see, I mean, it's not a long thing. Over a couple months, all of a sudden, I just see a little bit of difference in their game, their composure, just kind of their stature, the way they carry themselves. So always very enjoyable, and to watch, you know, specifically players that we worked last year with, you know, Topias, Villain, and Stiller are two guys that stuck out for me.
What stuck out about their performances?
Well, I think, again, just that there's a lot of areas that, you know, I'm talking like I talk to my kids. You harp on them a lot and you say a lot of things. You never know how much is sinking in at times. And then you see them out here over the last 2 days, and it's like, all right, you know, taking a little bit of a leadership role and making strides in their own personal games that make you feel not only are they listening, but exactly what you expect high-achieving young individuals.
There's a lot of drafted kids who are stronger, more physical, taller. What are you just seeing on the development of the farm system and the prospects that are here at camp?
Well, I think it's an exciting time for the Devils organization, because it certainly, I think every one of our draft picks, other than one, is here from the draft in Vegas last week, and now you get to see them live. There are a lot of big kids in there, man. They are large, strong-looking individuals, and I think that is something I wouldn't say it's an exact type we're looking for, but certainly some powerful, talented players, and it's early in their development stage, but it's nice to lay eyes on them.
You know Chase's dad and how he played the game. Does he resemble Dad and how he plays, being that hard-working type of athlete out there on the ice?
Yeah, Chase is a guy that he's very sincere about how he goes about his business. He's a hard-working kid. He's on the ice early. He wants to take strides to get better. He's had some injury challenges. And that's part of the package when you play the game the way he does, which is there's not too many confrontations or hard areas that he shies away from. So that's going to be part of the package for him. But for him to be an impactful player, I think he realizes exactly how he has to play. And sometimes it's not going to show up on the score sheet, but given his skill set and the way he's moving forward, we're really excited that he's going to be a long-term contributor here in Newark.
Coach, who was one player who maybe you hadn't seen before, the past couple of days, that you were excited to get your hands on and work with?
Well, it wasn't anybody. I mean, obviously our first rounder this year, Anton, is there's a stature that you notice right away, obviously. But to see him out on the ice and see some of his skill set, you go, okay, it's not only a size thing. There's the way he handles the puck, the way he shoots the puck, and just a kind of a youthful enthusiasm that he carries out there, just these little drills that we've been doing. He scores a goal and there's a little celebration. So there's I guess what you call a lust for life, and there's just something that just really bodes well for his future. So he certainly sticks out.
He's just 17 years old. What is there anything about his game that you look at and you say it looks a little more mature than him just being a 17-year-old?
I like, we talk about his size and his ability to skate, but the way he shoots a puck, it's got some extra zing on it. I think he rang one off the crossbar and almost hit the roof here after. It was like, okay, that thing had some momentum to be able to get that high. So I think it just says that there's some untapped strength in that body of his. And like you say, 17, literally between 17 and 19 is such a huge difference. So there's a lot of growth, both physically and maturity. But to me, I just look at it and I say, there's a guy that's just really passionate about what he's doing right now.
And at the end of last season, you got Dylan went late. What are you excited about with him? What did you see from him, and what are you looking forward to?
Well, Dylan, as advertised, is a guy that he plays the game incredibly hard. I think the areas that we've talked about is getting a little more comfortable in the puck area when he's around, whether it was not as much in the confrontation side, but he got an opportunity when he's got it and try to create some offense on that. But I think his physicality and his understanding, the small snapshot we saw of him in Utica last year, is he's going to be a player that's is really going to have to play a game that may not put him at the top of the stats, but is going to be an impactful player for our team by going out there, playing the right way, playing hard, and being hard to play against.
Kevin, I'm curious your thoughts on what Tom has done here since in the off season, I guess, the past 3 months, in creating a bigger, stronger team here to surround this young talent that they have.
Right. It starts in net. I had Jacob Marks from right about this. I think he was about 19 years old when we were in Florida, and he was just kind of earning his way into the NHL, and it's amazing how quickly those years skip by. Great composure, great size. You look at what we've done on the back end with our defensive additions. I think it just gives some of our younger players a little more breathing room as far as their development, and gives you a little protection as far as the type of ice time that they're logging. So great moves all around, good additions. I think from my years playing against New Jersey, I'm looking in the background, I got to stare at that Stevens and Danico friggin' big old things over there, and I know it's always built big and hard. Right? That's the way it is around here. So I think that's a formula that looks very familiar right now.
I'm curious your thoughts on what you thought of Shimon his first year, because you played such a huge role, giving him PK time to get him adjusted to that defensive type of system, that role that they would want here. What would you think of Shimon?
Well, it's his second year. Right, because he had a full year, didn't get a game in New Jersey, and hey, kid's second and pick overall. It spells the commitment that we make as an organization to development, that we're not going to put players in positions that they are going to get exposed or maybe stunt their growth a little bit. So it was literally almost a year and a half before he got his first NHL game, and then it was like, hey, kid's ready, let's go. I was excited right from the get-go. I thought he had a great start. I know the coaching staff here was very pleased with the way he was playing early. He had some hiccups and burps along the way, like all young kids do, but he's just a real dynamic, stubborn. He really is, and he's a hard kid. He's a very, very mature kid. He's been living by himself for a number of years, for just a young man, but he's the kind of guy that you really look forward to watching his career not only at the beginning here, but as it's going to evolve. I know I say that a lot, but I really do believe that he's going to be a long, hard stalwart on the blue line for the Devils.
Another defenseman in this camp, Seamus Casey. What have you learned about his game?
Well, I think Seamus is coming out of. I had a good conversation with him yesterday and about the decision making to leave college. It's not easy, right? I mean, he's in one of the best schools in the nation. It's enjoyable. They're successful on the ice. There's so many good things that go along with his situation at school. But at the end of it, you've got to make hard decisions to move on. And he made that decision. He's come in. We've made some defensive moves. I don't think that's frustrated him. I think there's obviously a skill set on the offensive side of things that don't stick out in a camp like this. It's not really based on scrimmage, but he has a skill that composure, the ability to make plays under pressure that we're excited to see him at the pro level playing against men and professionals, and it's early in his career, and we're looking forward to seeing him in Buffalo at rookie camp and going to main camp, and off we go on your professional career.
Also, how important is building AHL depth in addition to that NHL depth, and what does that do for the overall development of the players that eventually come up?
I don't think it goes unnoticed, doesn't go unnoticed by our fan base. I mean, it's important. You know, Utica is a long, proud franchise that wants to have good teams there. And I think when you see the moves that were made by the Devils in the last couple of weeks, there's an understanding that that's impactful on how our roster is put together as well. So it's a huge factor. I think Fitzy certainly understands that. I think he's proven that with a guy like, Nemec, and then signing guys, whether it's AJ Greer a few years ago that has gone on to a successful NHL career. It's good stuff. You got Holtz, you got Zetterberg, and Zetterlund, two Swedish meatballs there. They are off, and they're in other organizations now, but, you always wish players that you had, and that's part of the process, is having a good quality American League team.
I hope you guys enjoyed my 3-part series in me giving you guys scouting reports and playing media availabilities from development camp, the future NHL stars. Maybe. We'll see. I'm not a fortune teller, but I usually like to call them the NHL stars of tomorrow, and you have no idea who might blossom into something special. But it's nice when prospects just come under the same roof and participate in these activities, put on a show for the season ticket holders. And I had a lot of fun at development camp last year, meeting some of y'all who were fans of my show, and I can't thank you guys enough. Once again, I apologize if this is not as authentic as it was last year, but I stuck to the same format. But like I said, I wasn't really there at the RWJ Barnabas Health Hockey House to record an episode from their respective press box, give you guys a scouting report, and me actually recording and using my microphone to talk with some of the prospects just based on how the scheduling turned out. Couldn't come into fruition, but thank you for being patient, and thank you for sticking by me. Just had to make do with what I got. As for today's episode, that's all the time I have for you. Like I do to close out every show, continue to stay safe. Have a wonderful day in New Jersey. Go Devils. I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Thanks for listening once again.